Hey there guys, welcome back to another episode. Today's episode we are taking on a tier maker where we get to rate all our favorite Bloons Tower Defence 6 characters and then rate them and pop them where we want to pop them. Beautiful. Alright, perfect. Just before we start today's episode, I just want to let you guys know to like and subscribe and comment down below. I want all your opinions, even the ones who hate me, because they fuel me. Yes, please. Actually, I'm genuinely being serious. Please, if you don't like me, please tell me in the comments. It will really help me out quite a lot. Not my mental state, but you know, for the state of YouTube, all that jazz. Alright, perfect. Perfect. So first of all, we're going to start off by renaming some of these thingies. So S tier, we're going to rename to goats. So we're going to go like this. So we can go an O. No shit. Sorry. We're going to need a capital O, a capital A, and a capital T. The greatest of all time. Perfect. Number D, which is the worst class, we're just going to put Y. Like why do you exist? All that jazz. Fantastic. The middle one, we're going to go meh because they're pretty meh, and they're pretty meh. Perfect. And A tier, we're going to go decent, which sounds fantastic. And then C tier, we'll just go pickle sauce. We'll just call them pickle sauce. Pickle, and sauce. Because pickle sauce is garbage, but it's not why, if you get what I mean. Alright, fantastic. So today we're going to start off with our aeroplanes. Perfect. We're going to pop them just in... So pickle sauce or meh? I'm going to pop them in pickle sauce because unfortunately I don't really like this unit very much. It's got good damage, but it just isn't great, right? It leaves a lot of damage out on the board because unfortunately you can't target something specifically unless you want to upgrade it. It's only really good when the entire map is like more or less a mess, right? It has potential with Moabs and with the fighter plane upgrade and Operation Dart Storm upgrade, which is pretty cheap in comparison, but then in conjunction with sharper darts, center path upgrades, then it's alright, right? It becomes a mediocre Moab popper, but unfortunately it's not really that good, and I can't really comment on like the final upgrade paths because I've not used this unit enough, right? Bit unfortunate. Perfect. Next of all, we got the tack shooter. Perfect. We're gonna pop this one in decent because it's pretty decent, right? Honestly, one of my favorite non-monkey towers, whether you need an absolute dart mauler or a pyromaniac that will physically destroy everything in its path. You know, my personal favorite line is probably the 502, the Inferno Ring, which unfortunately is quite expensive, so we'll settle for it just being a 4, which is a Ring of Fire, if I remember correctly, with even more tax upgrade. Allows the power to destroy Moabs, if it's placed well, right? If it's placed around a circular part of track. Another not too bad path line is Overdrive in the tax zone, which is not too bad, and which places at the end it's pretty good at eliminating little stragglers, you know, all that jazz. The Super Maelstrom is not really one of my favorite ones. Yeah, perfect. I'm happy to pop you in decent. Perfect. Next of all, we've got the Beast Handler. Beast Handler can go in Y. Beast Handler, why does this guy exist? It is so irritating to build up to something that does a lot of damage. But don't get me wrong, it can certainly do damage, but it's just not fun to build. Like the payoff just is not worth it. It's just, that's why you're in Y. Perfect. We're also gonna pop a thingy there and a thingy there. Waluigi. Alright, perfect. Next of all, we've got the banana farm. In all honesty, it's not great. I like building the money bank just so I don't have to hover over it to collect all the bananas. You know, it's not really that good of a building. Yeah, so it's not really too much else that can be done. I don't like this unit very much. It makes you feel as if I have to take time to pay itself off, and then it's only really good later on when you could have spent a lot more money, like I want to say, like building other troops. As you'll see, we have some pretty strong troops up and coming, and you know, just take some time to pay itself off. Other than that, not too bad. So we're going to pop it in, probably in meh, which is not too bad, but obviously not the best. Alright, perfect. Next of all, we've got the Wizard Monkey, the first one of the goats, because unfortunately, if you lot know, I really like the goats. I mean the Wizard Monkey. The first of the goats, unfortunately, is a single path line that I build, being the 025 path line. It is fantastic in spotting all the camos and all the wall of fire. It's perfect for popping leads and camo leads and all that jazz. Then when we get to the Necromancer's unpopped army, which I believe is a 0, 0, and 4, which is fantastic. Every balloon that doesn't make it through the wall of fire gets attacked by an army of balloons. This can even get them pesky black camo balloons, which is fantastic because unfortunately we have lost a couple of rounds to them because they just get way too much. Perfect. And then, however, with the Prince of Darkness upgrade, it negates all of that, so it allows it to get attack the Moabs with Moabs, which is fantastic, right? That's beautiful. And then yeah, so it's a good utility upgrade, a good damage upgrade, but you know, it's a fantastic combination of both. I've been saying that the top upgrade path line is definitely the most damage, which I believe is the Archmage one, which is, you know, not something we normally go for, but it's not bad at all. Next we got the Mortar Monkey. The Signal Flare upgrade is decent for spawning camos, just use a Wizard Monkey in all honesty. The Shattering Shells for Moabs, just use the cannon. However, you may be questioning why why I have this guy in meh and not any lower? Okay, so we're just going to pop you in meh, not any lower. It's because this upgrade called a, what's it called? The artillery battery upgrade, if I remember correctly. This upgrade absolutely destroys anything it hits. You can't hit camos, which is alright. So you'll need a village for all that jazz. And it really struggles hitting any like of the fast balloons, like the yellows and stuff like that. Like BFBs and mobs get absolutely mauled by this upgrade. It is absolutely crazy. Its numbers, it's like mauling numbers, just keep climbing so rapidly. It's kind of crazy. Next of all, we got the boomerang monkey. In all honesty, we're probably gonna have to pop it in meh. It's not fantastic, I guess, in this lot. You know, alright, pretty alright early on. You know, giving it the 022 upgrades with the fire throws and the faster throwing, all that jazz. It's not too bad, but like 024 probably with this Moab press is probably the most utility and damage you're probably gonna get out of it, because it does more damage to Moabs and pushes them back, which allows you to just the rest of your crew just to maul through them. But other than that, it's not great. It could probably be in pickle sauce, but I'll put it in there just because it's pretty good early on. Next of all, we got the Druid, arguably one of my favorite balloon poppers, so we're just gonna pop it up there in the goat category. As you lot know, I really like the balloon, the druid, sorry. So it's got the bottom path line with the Druid of the Wrath. You know, it's not really good unless you want to build lots of druids or you like losing early hit points. So no thank you. And then the top path line is Druid of the Storm. It does a decent amount of damage, don't get me wrong. It actually does a lot of damage, and you can target Moab balloons, which is fantastic. But it can add a bit of utility in slowing down balloons and Moabs. So, you know, it's not bad. It's definitely pretty good, you know, but not the best. Next, we do have the best, the Druid of the Jungle. Unfortunately, this like can't target camos and can't hit Moabs with this distant thorns. I want to say it's thorn brush pile. I don't really know how to say that, but you know. So yeah, it can't hit Moabs, but it can hit everything else, right? However, the camos cannot be targeted, so you'll need a village for that jazz. But also you can just use a wizard. The wizard monkey, as we talked about earlier, is fantastic at that. However, the deadly thorn piles leaves it fantastic, popping all kinds of balloons with Jungle's Bounty upgrade. You get free money, and so eventually can pay itself off. Also give you bonus health, which is blooming fantastic. All right, next of all, we got the ice monkey. Now this guy isn't bad. He's just not great. Early game it can help camos and leads, and mid game it can help slow down the Moabs, and it's kind of cheap in comparison to the glue gunner. It's just kind of boring. It's just kind of boring. So unfortunately we're gonna have to pop it in pickle sauce. You know, it's not really a fun monkey for us to grab. All right, next of all we got the heli pilot. Kind of expensive to purchase early on. You know, it's about $1,300 to $1,600 or coins, whatever you want to call them. However, it does offer a lot of variety. For example, the only upgrade path which I believe to be viable is a quad darts and then pursuit, which is the top line. Then you can continue on with the upgrade line. With that upgrade line, which allows you to buy razor rotors, which allows you to cut through lead balloons, I believe frozen balloons as well, but that obviously doesn't matter. But lead balloons, which is fantastic, or the downdraft upgrade, which allows you to slow balloons down with a camo popping potential to ultimately provide a bit of added utility, you know, to allow you to pop those camos and all that jazz. Or if you require a bit of bonus Moab popping power, go with the Moab shove upgrade line, which allows you to slow down the Moabs, which is fantastic. That is normally a good goal to slow them down, although they are pretty slow already, so it really depends on what you're after. So in terms of this, full capabilities, arguably one of the best monkeys out there. Does not matter what you needed, this guy can supply it all. So fantastic. So we're going to put you in decent, top of decent, above the tack shooter, although I do like the tack shooter a bit more, but that is besides the point. All right, next of all we got the monkey village. In my personal opinion, I really hope this changes in the future, but at this stage the only path line for the monkey village is the 420 upgrades. I do not think it needs to go any further, any less, anything like that. It's kind of a cheap, like the fourth tier upgrade is kind of cheap, so that's all right. It allows the monkeys in this radius to target camo balloons. That's probably the two there, and then allows them access to attack speed, some more range, some more pierce, and some more projectile speed, which is always fantastic. And I guess it also stops the growing balloons from continuing to grow, which is also fantastic. Other than that, I can't really see any other point to using the monkey village, but as I just said, it's my personal opinion, so please, I beg, please attack me in the comments. It really helps my viewer retention, and you may as well like and subscribe while you're down there. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to be popping this guy in meh. Like in all honesty, you could possibly in pickle sauce, but meh, just because of its bonus ability to target camos and all that jazz. All right, engineer. It's going in Y. Why? Because, as I said a bit earlier, it's great. Don't get me wrong, the engineering monkey is great. It offers all the utility you'd ever need. However, once again, it's just kind of boring. Like for quite cheap, you can set up high damage output engineer. Or for quite cheap, you can set up a camo targeter engineer. For quite cheap, you can set up a LEAD mauler, which is fantastic. But ultimately, not a bad monkey. I can't comment on anything I'd like to change about this guy, other than it's just quite boring. A real lack of excitement. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's actually really good for popping balloons, but no, it's just boring. All right, next of all, we got the Dartling Gunner. Another guy that has limited usage. Unfortunately, I feel that as another guy you have to set to target, and like it's kind of like, what's it called? This lad, the Mortar Monkey. It's kind of someone you have to set to target. It's very difficult for him to follow you around, which is, it's not too bad, but you know, it's kind of good in terms of its like damage output. It's also kind of good for, because you can set it up to target camos, which is fantastic. But in all honesty, I just don't think it's worth it unless you're going to be setting it on a long straight map, or a map where it can cover a lot of the balloon's path and all that jazz. So other than that, it's not too bad. It's just not the worst, but you know, it lacks a real variety or usage, like a change up usage, like kind of like the same as the Engineer and kind of like the same as the Heli Pilot there today. But perfect. So we're going to pop you in Pickle Sauce. It's not bad, it's just not great either. All right, fantastic. Next of all, we got the Glue Gunner. Now this is a guy I can get very excited about. The bottom path is perfect for slowing down the Moabs, which is fantastic. The middle path is perfect for balloons, for slowing them down. However, my favorite path is the top path line. The Dissolver path line is great. It is actually fantastic at getting rid of any kind of balloons. At the village, I've seen this guy absolutely maul through so many balloons, and this guy offers real excitement due to the sheer number of pops this guy can inflict. Honestly, try it in your next game. It's actually kind of fun. So with you, sir, we're going to pop you in Decent right up there with the Inferno Shooter and the Heli Pilot. It's actually really fun. All right, next of all, we got the Alchemist. In all honesty, the top path line is the only, like the top upgrade path line is the only really one that I'd suggest, the same as with the village. Probably the only one I ever build. It just does extra damage and range for quite cheap for whoever's around it. So around with Quincy and any of the people who can shoot, throw darts and all that jazz. It's really fantastic with them lot. It's quite cheap as well. However, I feel like to kind of fun experimenting with the Transforming Tonic, which adds a lot more damage, or the lead and rubber to gold upgrades, which allows you to make some extra money. I mean, it's not the greatest of monkeys, but definitely adds some extra assistance to your firepower from all your other big boys, if you know what I mean. All right, so perfect. So we're gonna pop the this guy in Meh, just because he does actually provide a bunch of bonus assistance. But you know, I feel like I'm happy to keep him there. All right, next of all, we got the Super Monkey, and the Super Monkey is gonna go in Meh Pickle Sauce. I just feel like it's a bit of a cop out. I normally just grab this guy when I can't think of anything else to buy, or I purchase everything else. This guy is a real high damage dealer, and does not matter what path line you want to upgrade it. However, asking the 12-year-old me, the only true upgrade line to go through would probably be the Sun Avatar and the subsequent upgrades and all that jazz. However, asking me today would probably say the Robo Monkey is probably the better upgrade path line to go through. I don't know if aging me is just losing hair, but I'm hopefully getting smarter as well. All right, next of all, we got the Ninja Monkey. Another really good beginning monkey, same as the Boomerang Thrower. And the top path line uses double shot, and then building that into Bloon Ninjutsu, which is fantastic, I guess. It's actually quite a high damage output, which is fantastic. You can also go through with the counter espionage for the tier 2 path line, and Shinobi, just because Shinobi tactics aren't really great. My preferred method, especially when building an early game Ninja Monkey, is to go through seeking Shuriken and grabbing Kel Drops, just because it's better for the early game in my personal opinion. In all honesty, this guy provides a lot of bonus utility, and you know, with counter espionage, it's just some more high damage output. Not great, but it definitely helps. So with you, sir, we're gonna put you in Meh, because Meh is where we've been putting all the kind of good, not great. Perfect. We could probably move this guy up to there as well. We won't do that just yet. We'll do that just a little bit, and we could just pop you like this again. All right, fantastic. Next of all, we got the Spike Factory. Ultimately, one of the greatest utility vehicles in the game to go the top path line. Just so you can get a bit of extra damage, high damage with the spike mines, the spike balls, and super mines with all the white hot spikes in the early going on, just to popping leads and just doing a lot of bonus damage. And so also then you can also grab faster production, even faster production, which, as you can probably assume, means even faster production of spikes, which is fantastic, right? And then you can also go and grab the Moab Shredder, but honestly, it's not really my personal favorite. I don't see why. I think that'll probably do the most damage to a Moab, probably the Moab Shredder, but I also think it's just not going to be fiscally worth it to have like normal balloons run through a Moab Shredder. I actually have not tried that. That's a good point. I should probably try that in a game, not too soon, not too long. But then yeah, so it really doesn't matter. I normally pop these guys quite late on the track, which means long life spikes and smart spikes and all that jazz. They're a bit better for keeping more spikes on the ground for long periods of time. Ultimately, pretty good tile for any stage of the game, especially if you're allowing mini balloons to get through your defenses. They're just fantastic at popping any stragglers making it through. Perfect. So we're going to pop you in Decent, probably Meh, but Meh seems pretty full at this stage. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to swap these two around in all honesty. All right, next of all, we got the Submarine. Now, the Submarine's actually a very interesting one, because when I first started playing the game, I'd always grab the Submergent support line, and then with conjunction with the Buccaneers, this is normally a pretty good way how I used to pop leads and camos and all that jazz. Since playing the game a bit, I've realized that advanced intel can fire from any range on the map, depending on if there's another tower around around, and then in conjunction with the heated darts or the airburst darts, they'll do a lot of damage. And then with your first strike capabilities and arm piercing darts, that just really expands his range of weaponry. So if honestly, we're probably gonna have to pop you in meh. Probably meh. Meh sounds good. Meh sounds fantastic. We'll probably need to rotate some of these lot around, but hopefully that kind of works, right? All right, perfect. And next of all, we got the cannon, another tower that I used a lot in the early game, but I've upgraded through and the path of the Moab Mauler. But since building it, since playing it, I've got on a bit better at the game. And then I'd always build into Moab Assassin and all that jazz. There we go. So hopefully now. Hopefully now, I prefer going through the path of like really big bombs and then the cluster bombs. And I just think that they're much better at getting rid of the weaker balloons than I always gave them credit for. And ultimately, it's not a bad tower. It certainly does a lot of damage and however, it does offer very little utility. And it can't target camos, can also not target, I want to say, the black balloons, which is kind of irritating, especially early on. But yeah, that's not too bad. But it can target leads, I guess. So I guess it really depends on what your definition of utility is. It's just honestly, it's just going to be a meh in all perfect honesty. All right, next of all, we got the sniper, ultimately and arguably the greatest of all time. So just gonna move you up there to the greatest of all time, which means your first position, just up the top. This guy can target whatever it needs to target, whether it's given night vision goggles and it can target camos, or you just need a village to do that as well, which is fantastic, by the way. Not gonna lie, it's actually really good. Or you can just give it full metal jacket, large caliber, deadly precision, and ultimately building that into main Moab allows it to absolutely maul through any kind of Moabs and getting faster firing, even faster firing semi-automatic, and building that into full auto rifle and arguably even elite defender, which is quite cheap in all honesty. It's fantastic at popping any kind of balloons, and the fact that this guy can shoot at any range, hit any balloons, including of any kind, including Moabs, allows it to receive the ultimate award for damage and utility. It's kind of like a heli pilot on steroids in all honesty. Alright, perfect. Next of all, we got the dart monkey. Now this is another full utility access monkey, so you can either build it up the top line, which allows you to get the juggernaut, which allows you to bounce big metal balls that can target leads, which you can then combine with enhanced eyesight to target camos or very quick shots, so you can shoot a bit faster. It's ultimately fantastic in case you don't have any other lead poppers. Or you can go down the enhanced eyesight route to get the crossbow and sharpshooter, which is fantastic for critting and popping any kind of balloons, including Moabs, and then in conjunction with the very quick shots, allows them to pop them at a really quick rate. In all honesty, kind of one of the better monkeys, so you're gonna have to go to the top of decent. Oh no, top of decent. There we go, beautiful. So finally, we got the buccaneer monkey there today. It's another fantastic monkey which provides a lot of utility in the sense you can grab crow's nest, which allows you to target the camo balloons. In conjunction with grape shot, allows you to get a lot more camos really early on, and then continue upgrading crow's nest and merchantman. Favorite trades, which allows you to make bonus money from all the pops, and then you can get hot shot and then cannon ship or something like that, which allows you to pop Moabs, and then the monkey pirates, which allows you to pull those Moabs into the water and pop them really quickly. Or you can go down my favorite path line, which is called, I forgot, faster shooting, double shot, something like a destroyer, aircraft carrier, something like that, which allows you to pop the Moabs from a little plane which flies with the aircraft carrier and does a lot of bonus damage. Perfect. So we're gonna have to pop you up here in the greatest of all time. Now the thing is, the Buccaneers also have a very little special place in my heart. In all honesty, they're probably meh or like bottom decent, but they got a little special place in my heart. So that's why they're going in goated. All right, fantastic. So now that we've finished this little list, I'm pretty happy with all this. I would be very interested to hear all your experiences with them. I'm just gonna rotate some of them out, just how I believe they should possibly be. I'm gonna have to swap these two around. I do prefer the druid over the wizard, just because the druid does a bit more damage. This guy should not even be here, so that's why he's over there. I'm actually happy to keep you guys like this, and with you, sir, we're gonna have to pop you over there. Gonna have to swap you. Pretty happy with these. I'm probably gonna have to pop you up there as well. I'll swap you two around. We'll swap you two around, just because you could probably go down here. I don't really think you're necessary for the game, but there we go. Fantastic. I'm quite interested to hear your opinion down in the comments if you guys are still watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers. Bye bye.